safer world is possible, and together we can and will make it happen. Thank you.
When you show up in community, you find that group that makes you feel like home, but oftentimes you also find yourself again.
Yeah, I just had to call because I feel like it's just an echo chamber today. Everybody is agreeing with you.
Well, they're not, though, are they?
Sexist. Yeah, pardon?
They're not, though, are they?
Well, a little bit. Everybody's sexist.
No,
We're ignorant. And and by the way, we voted Brexit. But what I want to say is, I think in the beginning we all embraced her, and
exactly. Sorry, you've misunderstood.
Let me finish. The Queen was the one who, we all embraced her. I thought, she's a breath of fresh air. She's different.
So what changed?
Anti-Kate. I tell you what. When you cherry pick articles about the baby bump, which is just stupid clickbait. I mean, that's what the press does. They do stupid clickbait.
And where do you get your information about the royal family from?
It's that. We read it. Do I dislike Meghan because she held her bump? No, I don't care.
No, but if you're not getting your information from the newspapers, where are you getting it from?
Meaning what?
About the royal family.
I still read the papers.
Right.
Like, what are you asking? What I'm saying is that you are claiming that she's bullied. Meghan is bullied. Have we forgotten that Camilla Parker Bowles went through the exact same thing, if not worse? She was pilloried. She was the Rottweiler.
Camilla Parker Bowles was perceived as breaking up Prince Charles and Diana's marriage.
Pardon?
Camilla
Parker
Bowles was.
My point being.
So if I said, why have people taken against Camilla Parker Bowles?
She was the most bullied woman, and we're forgetting that. The press does this.
We're not forgetting that, because if I said, why is everybody being so mean?
Oh, crikey. We must be racist because we don't like her.
No, if everybody said, why is everybody being mean to Camilla Parker Bowles, and you rang up and said, well, she was Prince Charles's mistress, she's the reason why we have our first ever divorced monarch. I'd go, that's a good reason. That's a good reason. So now I say about Meghan Markle.
They're saying that she's been bullied disproportionately than anybody else because she's a woman and we're afraid of.
So why do you think she has then?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't think she has. The reason, I'll tell you what turned me against, what really put a bad taste in my mouth was the documentary. One, for months they have been building up this website. This has been very, very premeditated.
How do you know?
I think it's the indignity. How do you know they've been building up this website? These things don't come
No,
out.
but where do you get that information from? It sounds to me like you're cherry-picking newspaper articles.
Because I'm clever, and you don't build these things out of thin air. They come with months and months of planning.
Okay, so you didn't hear about it.
I don't need a paper to tell me that.
Oh, okay. How do you know it even exists?
I don't need you to tell me that.
How do you know it even exists? Because you're clever, but didn't you ring in to tell me that there was something wrong about echo chambers painting other people as not being clever?
No, the point being.
No, you did. I was here.
Yes.
Right. So you get all your information from newspapers and you're clever, but you don't like echo chambers. So here's the question. Why did you turn against...
echo chambers. I think
why did you turn against Meghan Markle?
All of your callers have been agreeing with you, yes.
No, all of my callers have made sense until now. So why did you turn against Meghan Markle?
What I'm turning against actually is you, because you are the one who will.
Yes, but I'm not interested in me.
Everybody is racist or we're sexist.
No. Why do you not like her then? Why does she leave a nasty taste in your mouth, January?
Well, it's actually even not her, it's him.
Well, no, we're talking about her. You said the moment she left a nasty taste in my mouth.
Family.
Yes.
And the fact is, when you do.
So you're going to pretend you didn't just say that.
You do a documentary in Africa, for instance.
Yes.
And you're in probably the poorest country in the world, one of the poorest countries in the world.
Yes.
And they're doing fantastic things. And they have such great reception. Everybody was applauding the trip. It was a success. And then they do a documentary, and what do they talk about? They talk about themselves. And I find that really undignified. It's just, they were claiming how, you know what?
So when they're asked questions, questions about themselves, what should they say?
I don't think they should have. They shouldn't have said it.
Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome back to Sussexful, your home for real conversations, powerful moments, and truth-telling stories that matter. I'm your host, Emma, and before we dive in, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Sussexful, where we celebrate fairness, compassion, and open minds. Now, on today's video, we're diving into an incredible moment on James O'Brien's show, where a caller simply couldn't explain why she's turned against Meghan Markle. At first, she claimed she was just angry, but as James pressed her gently, yet brilliantly, it became clear she didn't have any real reason. Instead, she shifted blame, dodged questions, and even accused James of things he never said. Oh, James, you truly are a champion when it comes to handling confused and unfair criticism. This was the moment James O'Brien brilliantly challenged a caller who just couldn't justify her dislike for Meghan. Let's take a look at this fascinating exchange and unpack what it reveals about how the media, and perhaps our own biases, shape opinions about the Duchess of Sussex. Caller's confusion over disliking. Meghan Markle, the caller January, found herself in a perplexing situation as she tried to explain her disdain for Meghan Markle to James O'Brien. Despite initially claiming that the public had embraced Meghan in the beginning, January quickly contradicted herself, accusing James of something when pressed to provide concrete reasons for her negative opinion. Her inability to articulate a coherent argument highlighted the confusion underlying her stance, as she seemed to have formed her views based on cherry-picked media reports rather than a nuanced understanding of the Duchess's experiences. James skillfully navigated the conversation, drawing parallels to Camilla Parker Bowles' own struggles with the press, and pushing January to confront the potential sexist and racist undertones in Meghan's treatment. But the caller remained steadfast in her position without a clear justification. The caller's shifting stance on Meghan Markle. The caller January initially claimed that she and the public had embraced Meghan Markle when she first joined the royal family. However, her opinion has since taken a turn, with January now voicing a negative view of the Duchess of Sussex. She attributes this shift to the clickbait articles she has read in the media, suggesting that the coverage has formed her opinion of Meghan. Despite James O'Brien's repeated attempts to uncover the specific reasons behind her change of heart, January struggled to articulate a coherent justification, instead accusing the media of unfairly targeting Meghan in a way that mirrors the treatment of Camilla Parker Bowles. Ultimately, the caller's inability to provide a clear rationale for her newfound disdain for Meghan highlights the confusion and lack of substance underlying her stance. So James O'Brien challenged a caller named January about where she was getting her opinions on the royal family, especially Meghan Markle. January, well, she admitted that she still reads the papers, which kind of suggests her views might be shaped by all that media coverage. James didn't let up. He pointed out the double standard, bringing up how Camilla Parker Bowles had faced pretty similar, maybe even worse treatment from the press back when people blamed her for the breakup of Prince Charles and Princess Diana's marriage. Then, James pressed January, asking why she thinks Meghan is treated so harshly by the media, if it isn't because of sexist and racist reasons. January, honestly, struggled to give any kind of coherent or defensible explanation for her stance, which just made it even clearer how muddled her position on the Duchess of Sussex really was. The caller claimed that Meghan Markle was facing the same kind of treatment that Camilla Parker Bowles had gone through in the past. But James explained, Camilla was seen as the one who broke up Prince Charles and Princess Diana's marriage, and for a lot of folks, that was just a much more unforgivable thing. With Meghan, though, her critics have a hard time naming any real, concrete reason for their negativity, whereas Camilla's role in that royal breakup gave people a more tangible reason for their hostility. James kept pushing the caller to spell out exactly why she thought Meghan was being treated so badly, but the caller just couldn't give a clear answer. She kind of fell back on vague accusations and dodged the question. And honestly, that just showed how confused and unjustified her views on Meghan Markle really were. Try as he might, James just couldn't get January to give a clear or coherent reason for why she'd turned against Meghan Markle. Even with his persistent questioning, January stumbled and fumbled, never managing to offer any real criticism or justification for her negativity towards the Duchess of Sussex. It became pretty obvious that January's stance wasn't based on any specific grievances or well-thought-out analysis. It just seemed to come from a sort of fuzzy, hard-to-pin-down dislike, probably fueled by all the sensationalized media coverage she'd read. James did a great job of highlighting this lack of explanation, really exposing the caller's position as little more than an uninformed and irrational prejudice. The caller's suggestion that the media's portrayal of Meghan is to blame for her negative perception is a common refrain, but James rightly challenges this simplistic view. He presses the caller to provide a specific reason for why she has turned against Meghan, rather than simply blaming the media's coverage. The caller struggles to articulate a coherent, well-reasoned critique, instead resorting to vague accusations and attempted deflections. James expertly navigates the conversation, pushing the caller to substantiate her claims and acknowledge the potential role of sexism and racism in the treatment of Meghan by the press. This exchange really highlights the complexity of public discourse around high-profile figures, where emotional reactions and unexamined biases can cloud rational analysis. The caller's inability to articulate a clear, coherent reason for her negative stance on Meghan Markle was both perplexing and telling. When pressed by James O'Brien to explain her position, she resorted to vague accusations, quickly shifting the focus away from her own murky reasoning. Honestly, it seemed the caller had formed an opinion based on media clickbait articles, rather than any substantive understanding of the complex issues surrounding the treatment of the Duchess of Sussex. Her awkward attempts to draw parallels to Camilla Parker Bowles only further highlighted the caller's confusion and lack of a well-grounded argument. This exchange really encapsulated the challenge of confronting individuals who harbor strong views without being able to justify them, revealing the need for more thoughtful, nuanced discussions on such matters. James recognized the caller's confusion and acknowledged her as a typical confused Karen. He understood that she had no clear reason for her anger towards Meghan Markle, and whenever he challenged her to explain her position, she quickly changed the subject and accused him of something. This erratic behavior was a clear sign of a confused Karen, someone who has formed a negative opinion without any solid justification. Despite the caller's inability to articulate her stance, James remained calm and patient, continuing to press her for a coherent explanation of her disdain for the Duchess of Sussex. James is indeed a true champion in dealing with the caller's unfounded criticism of Meghan Markle. Throughout the exchange, he calmly and persistently pressed the caller to explain the reasoning behind her negative views of the Duchess, but she was unable to provide any coherent justification. Instead, the caller simply resorted to vague accusations and quickly changed her position whenever James challenged her. This exposed the caller's arguments as nothing more than confused and misguided criticism, without any real substance behind it. James handled the situation with great poise, demonstrating his skill in cutting through the rhetoric to expose the flaws in the caller's reasoning. He is to be commended for his measured yet firm approach in calling out the caller's lack of a substantive case against Meghan.